I Robot, how a major motion picture from 20th Century Fox starring Will Smith, I Robot, Isaac Asimov. Speedy hopped to a halt and remained standing for a moment, with just a tiny unsteady wheel, as though he were swaying in a light wind. Powell wailed, "All right, Speedy, come here, boy." Her open speech robot voice sounded in Powell's earphones for the first time. It said, "Hot dog, let's play games. You catch me and I catch you. No lover can cut our knife in two, for I'm little buttercup, sweet little buttercup." Oops. Turning on his heel, he sped up the direction from which he had come, with a speed and fury that kicked up goat on baked dust. And his last words, as he recalled into a distant were, "There grew a little flower, this great oak tree," followed by the curious metallic clicking that might have been a robotic equivalent of a hiccup. Donovan said weakly, "Where did he pick up the Gilbert and Sullivan?" "Say, Greg, he's drunk or something?" "If you hadn't told me," was the bitter response, "I've never realized. Let's get back to the clip. I am roasting." It was Pavel who broke the desperate silence. "In the first place," he said, "Speed isn't drunk, not in the human sense, because he's a robot and robots don't get drunk. However, there's something wrong with him, which is the robotic equivalent of drunkenness." "To me he's drunk," stated Donovan emphatically, "and all I know is that he thinks you are playing games, and you are not. It's a matter of life and very gruesome death." "All right, don't hurry me. A robot your robot. Only once we find out what's wrong with him, you can fix it and go on." "Once?" said Thomas sourly. Powell ignored him. Speedy is perfectly adapted to normal Mercurian environment, but this region, and his arm swept wide, is definitely abnormal. There's our clue. Nowhere do these crystals come from. They might have formed from a slowly cooling liquid. But where would you get liquid so hot that it would cool in Mercury's sun? "Volcanic action," suggested Donovan instantly, and Powell's body tensed. "Out of the mouths of the sucklings," he said in a small, strange voice, and remained very still for 5 minutes. Then he said, "Listen, Mike, what did you say to Speed when you sent him after Selenium?" Donovan was taken aback. "Well, Danny, I don't know. I just told him to get it." "Yes, I know, but how?" "Try to remember the exact words." I said, "Speedy, we need some selenium. You can get it such and such a place. Go get it." "That's all." "What more did you want me to say?" "You didn't put any urgency into the water, did you?" "What for? It was pure routine." Powell sighed. "Well, it can be helped now, but you are in a fine fix." He had dismounted from his robot and was sitting back against the cliff. Donovan joined him, and they linked arms. In the distance, the burning sunlight seemed to wait cat and mouse for them, and just next to them, the two giant robots were invisible but for the dull lead of their robo-electronic eyes that stared down at them, unblinking, unwavering, unconcerned. Unconcerned? As was all this poisonous mercury, as large of chinks as it was small in size. Powell's radio voice was tense in Donovan's ear. Now, look, let's start with the three fundamental rules of robotics. And three rules are built more deeply in a robotic positronic brain. In the darkness, his gloved finger ticked off each point. We have one. A robot may not injure a human being, or through inaction, allow a human being to come to harm. Right. 2. Continue farm. A robot must obey the order given by human being except where such orders would conflict with the first law. Right. And 3. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. Right. Now, you're right. Exactly at the explanation, the conflict between the various rules is ironed out by the different positronic potential in the brain. You will say that a robot is walking into danger and know it. The automatic potential that rule 3 set up turns him back. But suppose that you order him to walk into the danger. In the case, rule 2 set up a counter potential higher than the previous one, and the robot follows orders at the risk of the existence. Well, I know that. What about it? Let's take Speed's case. Speed is one of the latest models, extremely specialized and as extensive as a battleship. It's nothing to be lightly destroyed. So Rule 3 has been strengthened. That was specifically mentioned, by the way, in the advanced notice on the SPD model, so that his allergy to the danger is unusual high. At the same time, when you sent him out after the selenium, you gave him his order casually and without special emphasis, so that the rule number potential setup was rather weak. Now, hold on. I'm just stating fact. Alright, go ahead. I think I get it. You see how it works, don't you? There are just some sort of danger centering of the selenium pool is increased as you approach it, and a certain distance from it, the rule 3 potential unusually high to start it. Exactly balance the rule 2 potential unusually low to start with. Donovan rose to his feet in excitement when he strikes an equilibrium, I say. Rule 3 drives him back, and Rule 2 drives him forward. So, he followed a circle around the selenium pool, staying on the locus of all the point potential equilibrium, and unless we do something about it, he'll stay on the circle forever, giving us the good old round run around. Then more sorrowfully, all that, by the way, is what makes him drunk, and potential equilibrium help the positronic passes of his brain out of kilter. I'm not a robotic specialist, but that seems obvious. Probably he lost control of just those parts of his voluntary mechanism that the human drunk has be very pretty. But what's the danger? If he knew what he was running from, you suggested volcanic action. Somewhere right above the selenium pool is a seepage, a gas from the bowels of mercury, sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, and carbon monoxide, lots of it. And at this temperature, Thomas gulped audibly. Carbon monoxide plus iron give the volatile iron carbonyl, and the robot at the power is essential iron. and grimly, there's nothing like deduction. We are determined everything about our problem but the solution. We can't get the selenium ourselves. It's still too far. We can't send these robot horses because they can't go themselves and they can't carry us fast enough to keep us from crisping. And we can't catch Speedy because the dog thinks you are playing games and he can run 60 miles 2 4 hours 4. And one of us goes, began Donovan, tentatively, and come back cooked. There'll be still be the other. Yes, came the sarcastic reply. It would be a most tender sacrifice, except that a person would be in no condition to give oral if he ever reaches the pool. And I don't think the robot would ever turn back to a cliff without orders. Figure it out. You are 2 or 3 miles from the pool. 42. The robot travels at 4 miles an hour, and we can last 20 minutes in our shoot. It isn't only the heat. Remember, solar radiation now, here the ultraviolet, and below is poison. There's Donovan. 10 minutes shot. As good as an eternity. And another thing, in order for Rule 3 potential to have stopped Speedy LED, there must be an appreciable amount of carbon monoxide in the metal vapor atmosphere, and there must be an appreciable corrosive action. Therefore, it's been out hours now, and how do we know when a needle joint, for instance, won't be thrown out of a kilter and kill him over? Kill him over. It's not only a question of thinking. You've got to think fast. Deep, dark, dank, dismal silence. Donovan broke it, voice trembling in an effort to keep himself emotionless. He said, as long as we can't increase Rule 2 potential by giving further orders, how about working the other way? If we increase the danger, we increase Rule 3 potential and drive him backward. Pavel's Bishopplate had turned toward him in silent question. You see, came the cautious explanation. All we need to do is to drive him out of his rut. In rut is increase the concentration of carbon monoxide in his vicinity. Well, back up the station, there's a complete analytical laboratory. Naturally, assented Powell. It's a mining station. All right, there must be pounds of oxalic acid for calcium precipitations. Holy space, Mike. You are genius. So, admitted Donovan modestly. It's just a case of remembering that oxalic acid, when heating, decomposes into carbon dioxide, water, and good old carbon monoxide. College came, Wells was on his feet and had attracted the attention of one of the monster robots by the simple expedient of pounding the machine's side. Hey, he shouted, can you throw, master? Never mind. Powell damned the robot molasses slow brain. He scrabbled over jagged bridge-sized rock. Take this, he said, and hit the patch the blush crystal just across the crooked fissure. You see? Donovan pulled at his shoulder. Too far, Greg. It's almost half a mile off. Quiet, replied Powell. It's a case of Mercurian gravity and a steel throwing arm. Watch, will you? The robot's eyes were measuring the distance with machinery accurate stereoscopy. His arm adjusted itself to the weight of the missile and threw back. In the darkness, the robot's motions went unseen. and there was a sudden thumping sound and shift his weight, and seconds later the rock flew backly into the sunlight. There was nowhere distance to slow it down, no wind to turn it aside. When it hit the ground, it threw up crystal precisely in the center of the blue patch. Powell wailed happily and shouted, "Let's go back after the Oxley exit, Mike." And as he plunged into the ruined substation on the way back to the tunnel, Norman said grimly, "Speed's been hanging about on this side of the Selenium pool ever since we chased after him. Did you see him?" "Yes, I guess he won't play games." "Well, we'll play him games."